Okay, so this is information on the composition of transformations. Okay, so essentially what's going on in this section is we're taking an operation that combines two transformations. Now note, so we're going to combine two transformations. And note the order matters. Okay, so it matters what order you do the two transformations in. Let's give an example of this. Okay, so to make our example that order matters, I'm going to make two lines. I'm going to call this one J, and I'm going to call this one K, and I'm going to make two figures that are almost exactly the same. One is a triangle here, and then I'll make another one a triangle here. Okay, so let's look what happens if I reflect over J and then K. So if I do that, then reflecting over J, so if this is A, B, C, this should be A prime, B prime, C prime. And then if I reflect again over K, I get A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. So this is the pre-image here, and this is the image. Okay, so it's clearly been reflected twice, and we end up there. Now, what if I said, let's take PSR, right, and reflect it over first K? Well, if I reflect over K, I'm going to end up way out here. Way out here, right, with R being here, R prime, P prime, and then S prime up here. And then if I reflect back over J, I can't even see it, okay? So, like if I reflect back over J, this thing is going to get shot way, 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 way over there. So this is definitely not the same as reflecting over J then K. So if I change the order of the two reflections, I change the composition. So order matters. Okay, so this is really important. The order in which you do a composition matters. So you can't like reflect over J and reflect over K and then hope it to be the same as reflecting over K then J. Won't work. Okay, so I think we've driven that point home. Okay, so some other things to think about. One is that if I have an isometry and then compose that with another isometry, since this is preserving the same size and shape and this is preserving the same size and shape, the composition is also an isometry. So the composition of two isometries is an isometry. So something made up of two pieces that both preserve the size and shape of something has to also be something that preserves the size and shape. Okay, so there's a couple of specific cases that we want to look at. What happens if I have a composition of reflections over two parallel lines? So this is similar to what I gave in the example before. Let's have, I have A, B, C. When this gets reflected over J, I end up with A prime, B prime, C prime. And this gets reflected over K, gets me back A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. Now, if you only look at the beginning and the end here, this composition of transformations, the composition of two reflections over parallel lines, is the same as a translation. And in fact, it translates in this direction, and the translation is 2 times the distance between the two lines. So that's a little bonus. If this is x, the translation vector is going to be 2x, and it goes in the direction of the parallels. So this and this could be created by making a slide, or could be created by making a composition of 2 reflections. Okay, so another case that's worth noting is what happens if I have a reflection over 2 lines that cross. So let's call this one J and let's call this one K. And I have my little triangle here, and I reflect it over J. And then I reflect it over K. Okay, so it's clear that I've done a reflection here. I've done a reflection there. So let's call this A, B, C. This is going to be A prime, B prime, C prime, which makes this A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. Now, what may be difficult to catch here is that by doing 2 reflections over a set of intersecting lines, this is the same as doing a rotation around the center, or the point of intersection. So, doing multiple reflections over intersecting lines is the same as a rotation. Okay, so these are some things that we want to be aware of when we do composition when it comes to transformations. Awesome. Thank you.